everybody, my name is Tara and I have never done this before, so this is kind of new, but I know that I'm supposed to be doing them, so I'm going to start here. A lot of people know me as Tara, a lot of people know me as Amitria Dia. I am a light worker, I am a spiritualist, I am an indigo child. When it comes to some of the topics that I'll be touching on energy work, I'll be touching on chakras, I'll be teaching a lot of metaphysical and how to get in touch with your own spirituality and how to raise your own vibration. There is a shift of consciousness going on in the universe, and we are elevating our frequency from the 3D to the 5D. And so they say there's 144,000 light workers here on Earth to help do that, to help break the barriers, to help raise the veil, to break through to the other side, really. And part of those are indigo children, which is what I am. I was born in 1975. I'm 45 years old, and I am the almost epitome classic indigo child. Now indigo adult. I have some cliff notes here because I will never remember on my own, but the indigo children and adults are compassionate, intelligent people, and they tend to question authority. They don't accept what is told to them by authority, and they want to know why. They have a burning desire to have a deeper intellect, a deeper knowledge, a deeper knowing of what they're being told and for the reason on why they're being told that. So, let's see how many of you can resonate with some of these traits of being an indigo. The first is that many of the indigos are very creative. That is a trait of the indigo, and that a lot of them will choose to grow up in jobs that allow them to express and explore their creativity. Maybe they become writers or painters or sculpting designers, or they like to do some blogging or vlogging. I'm passionate about writing. I always have been. I actually did go ahead and publish a small novel a few years ago. It was something that I aspired to do, so I did it, and I never really put a lot of effort into it after that. I'm a mom. I had 3 young children, and I really put being a mom first. But now I'm at a point where I really can focus on what I enjoy doing, and what I enjoy doing is teaching spirituality. I do enjoy writing. I do enjoy being creative. Indigos are curious. Trait number 2. Indigo children are very curious and cautious, and it's common for indigo children and adults to learn the why of what they're asked to do. Learning the why of things is very important. So as I was growing up as a child and somebody would tell me to do something, my automatic response was why? Why do I have to do that? It bothered everybody. It bothered my teachers, it bothered my parents, it bothered everybody. But as I grew older and I started to understand what indigos were, I came into learning about the indigo children in 2004, found out that I was an indigo and that I had a crystal baby. We can go into crystal children later. Trait number 3, they are psychic empaths. If anybody knows anything about me, they will tell you that I am highly intuitive and very psychically empathic. Besides being creative and curious, indigos are incredibly empathic by nature. They are sensitive, they can feel the emotions of others, they have a deep connection with other people and with animals. And because they have such sensitive souls, watching the news and being exposed to violence can be horrifically disturbing for them. I know that for myself, I had to stop watching the news altogether. I get my news from blurbs on the internet. I watch OANN. I tend to go ahead and YouTube what's going on in the world and getting a couple different opinions, because I can't sit there and listen to the constant negativity, the constant reinforcement of fear-mongering that the news perpetuates on a daily basis. So I personally get my news from other sources. Oh, the lights went on. Hey, that's my energy. It's working with the electricity. Okay, so the fourth trait that you may find as an indigo adult or an indigo child is they may have rebelled in school, which I did. When I applied myself, I was a straight A student. When I didn't, I was a CD student. Indigo children are leading edge thinkers. They don't like pointless, repetitious schoolwork. I hated repetitious schoolwork. Like, give me something to focus on that was going to enhance my mind and help my growth. Don't have me do the rigmarole of mundane mathematics. Like, teach it to me and then have me explore it in sacred geometry. You want to teach me mathematics? Teach it to me in the form of how it's going to pertain to my income, how a percentage is going to trickle into what I'm going to be paid in commission, so to speak. And then you may have gotten a better result in teaching me what you wanted me to learn fundamentally in school. To be quite honest with you, the indigo children were very restless and bored in school. Many of them have been labeled as hyperactivity disorder or attention deficit disorder. I know I was bored to death in school. I used to fall asleep all the time. They didn't offer a way to teach us that was engaging, it was a deliverance of information and you were to accept it. And rather than allow us to question why this is accurate, why this is true, and how does this fall into play when this and this does not make sense. You taught me to think that 2 + 2 = 4, but what you're giving to me is showing me that there's a revelation of 5, and can you explain to me why? And they want you to accept. It's part of the indoctrination of, the children from a very young age to fall into line, to not question authority. And the indigo children did. We have. And it's our time to shine. It's our time to step into what we need to display to our fellow human beings, to the world of the human kindness. Indigo children dislike hierarchical systems and embrace self-reliance, and that couldn't be more accurate. Like, there does not need to be an hierarchy of chain command if people can be held accountable for self-reliance, for the ability to do what they're supposed to do, rather than be micromanaged to have to do it, so to speak. We all know what needs to be done, and we all have different abilities, different gifts, and a different way of being a pillar of the community, of working together as a collective community rather than as an individual. If we can start to see humanity as a collective rather than as an individual source, and know that we are all connected, then we may see that elevation vibration. We may see that rise that we're looking for, the frequency of loving others as we love ourselves. We are all one spiritual consciousness, right? So we do need to work on loving others as though they are a part of who we are. We may not have to accept in like every aspect of somebody, but we definitely need to realize that we are all connected, and it is that higher consciousness and vibration that is going to change the world that we live in. We all want to be in a better world. We all want to be in that utopia of heaven on earth. I understand that. I want to be there too. But what we have to do is we have to assimilate ourselves into that higher consciousness together. Okay, so trait number 5 is a sense of equality. One of the most beautiful qualities of indigo is that they accept people for who they are. They don't try to change them to be somebody that they want them to be. They acknowledge that each person is individual, and they accept that person for who they are. They also believe in equal treatment for all people. You can find that indigos are advocating for people that have been struggling with acceptance into society. So, for example, maybe the LGBT community that was fundamentally rejected from so many aspects of everyday life that you may find that they have found rainbow friends. They found people that may not be gay themselves, but that are totally encouraging and accepting of gay friendships. For myself, I am accepting of everybody because I do not look at you for what your physical attributes are. I look at you for the energy that you bring, the energy that's surrounding you, the energy in your aura. And it doesn't matter if you are a male or a female, and it does not matter if you are a variety of different colors on the spectrum, nationalities, backgrounds, religious heritages. Your energy speaks to my energy. We are all energy beings, and if you remove this mask, if you remove this suit, this body armor, and you just take the essence of this soul, it's the energy that we read. It's the energy that we recognize in each other. So that is 100% on target, that we will advocate for others, because we aren't looking at you through the eyes of the goggles of indoctrination that was brought into our world by society. We are looking at you through the eyes of the universal energy field. Okay, number 6. Indigo children are usually born leaders, plain and simple, and they aren't afraid to be trailblazers. In fact, many provide support to others on their spiritual paths. A lot of us like to light a fire and watch it burn and set it ablaze so that it can never be rebuilt back into the ideas of culture that once were. We want to open up eyes and minds to a level of thinking that you were supposed to be. We were supposed to have, that when we incarnated into this world was our birthright, but something happened along the way where it no longer was understood. We had forgotten it, so to speak. So the Indigo children are trying to support others on their spiritual quest and raise their awareness and their vibrations so that they can too be in tune, because every single one of us is brought into this earth with our gifts, with our spirituality, with our psychic abilities, with our intuitive empath abilities. But it's, are you connected to it, and do you remember it, and does it bring you back to source? Trait number 7 is problem solvers. Because Indigo children and Indigo adults are smart, they do like to solve problems. They often go by the mantra of, if you're not a part of the solution, then you're part of the problem. Don't voice your opinion on what the problem is if you're just going to put light on the problem. Open up your light and your voice and speak about it when you have a solution to that problem. Everybody knows that there's a problem. Absolutely, there's a problem and it needs to be fixed. But the difference between an Indigo and a general human is that an Indigo will say, the problem here is we have whatever. We have XYZ fighting with ABC because they don't understand each other. The Indigo will say, well, XYZ doesn't understand ABC because they're seeing it through these eyes, and that in order to make this work, let's have a meeting and talk about both sides of it. That's the difference. They want resolution. They want to figure out how we can incorporate both sides to work together rather than be so far separated from each other. All right. Trait number 8. See what I did there? Trait number 8. Okay, anxious. These Indigo children, adult souls, are sensitive to energy around them. They can be overstimulated. And because of this, they often deal with anxiety throughout the course of their life. They're not really supposed to have caffeine. I totally don't go by that. And they also need to be more spiritually grounded. They have to go outside. They have to ground themselves to nature. They have to be in water to cleanse. They have to touch earth. They have to ground themselves. Now, what I can tell you is that for myself, I do become overstimulated. I am highly empathic. I can feel other people's emotions and I can read a room. So when I am around others, and it's a big crowd, I tend to want to leave because I do get anxious. I do stress. I do feel in others what their emotions are, and they bring back to myself, and I don't like to have those mixed. That scares me at times. I like to be separated from other people's emotions and stay focused on my own. Trait number 9 is psychic. Many indigo children and adults take interest in psychic or spiritual studies. They may also have a connection to something bigger than themselves. So that psychic intuition is very highly in tune with indigo children. Indigos is correlating to the aura. I'm going to explain a little bit more about that in just a moment. And I keep going back to our intuitive. Trait number 10, our intuitive. Telltale sign that you're an indigo is strong intuition. You may know things about people before you meet them, which is also known as clairsentience. You may have a sense of knowing, which is claircognizance. You may be able to see or read auras, or evaluate people's chakra systems. You have had premonitions or visions in the future, or at times, which is clairvoyance, and you might be able to communicate with dead people or with the divine spirit, and that would be mediumship. I've learned over time, and being a student of Doreen Virtue, that I actually have all of those. I am clair everything. Took a while for me to understand that and how to tune into that, but it is a very interesting way of life once you understand and you can work with your energy. Indigo children are focused. Indigo and children and adults are very focused, no doubt about it. These star children are smart and they process and learn information very quickly, but they may feel like their mind is all over the place, so they may not be able to strategically place their thoughts. And I know that when I'm in the process of doing things, I like to make little note cards with all of my little ideas. So I'd have little note cards all over the place, so that way I can write my ideas down and then I can go back and organize them. It's kind of my way of brainstorming and clouding. Indigos like to eat healthy foods, which is funny because there's a lot of times when I was growing up reading that indigos like to eat a lot of processed and junk foods, which both is true. But once an adult, an indigo adult, they tend to want to eat more healthy, more organic, more raw diets. It sustains their energy levels a little bit better, but don't get me wrong. As children, you will find they will thrive off of junk foods such as McDonald's. I don't recommend McDonald's to anybody. I think it's terrible. It's disgusting. And you won't see me putting it in my mouth. However, when I was younger, I did. I ate a lot of it. And I still eat a lot of refined sugars, Starburst, Skittles, Sweet Tarts, things of that nature, which I'm not supposed to. I know it doesn't reside well and I get very sick afterwards. But yes, indigos like to eat healthy food. They are mindful of what they put in their bodies, and they don't like the toxicities that come with it. Something is wrong with me that I go after it all the time. It's like a sugar high crash. And then you also have electrical sensitivities or telekinetics. Remember, I was just talking about the lights. I had half of the lights on, and then the other half of the lights on the other side of the wall were off. They just didn't want to go back on. I interfere with the electronics on a regular basis. I make things, I touch them and they just start like wavering and coming in and out of receptivity. So the fun fact, if you tend to short circuit electrical devices, you may be an indigo. So you can burst light bulbs if you're upset, and I have been known to do that. I've walked into a room very angry and pop, it goes. Have high frequency to cell phones and other electronics, you wind up frying them and frizzling them. And I have done that many times. Can't wear watches. Now, I do wear a watch, but I have a timepiece, so it's not, I kill batteries on watches within like 3 weeks. So I have a timepiece that is not ran by a battery. And the 14th trait is knowledge seekers. Because they desire spiritual fulfillment, indigo children seek the meaning of life. They are the why seekers. Remember, they always wanted to know why. And because of that, they're destined to do great things when they stay vigilant and on task. And when they're on their life's purpose. All right, so indigo children and adults are compassionate and intelligent people. We've already discussed that, right? You may find that they are very spiritual, have a lot of wisdom, intuitive clarity, very sensitive. They're different, curious. They may have frustration, very creativity, and highly loving. Possible traits of an indigo. Now, my eyes tend to go back and forth between a hazel and a green, but you may see that they have very deep blue or green eyes. Ageless. Indigo children and adult or indigo people may have a tendency to remain looking younger and youthful, more young than they truly are, younger than they actually are. They may be very opposite and look way beyond their years from a point of wisdom. If you know some indigos, you may feel like they never changed throughout the course of their lives, that who they were at age 14 is who they are at age 60. And sometimes you can think of an indigo and think they look a little bit more androgynous. They're not necessarily a bisexual, but they may have the appearance of a balanced masculine and feminine energy, if you will. My husband used to laugh at me all the time because I would always say that I looked very androgynous. But I do believe that I do not have that overwhelming female feminine look that is like that striking Brooke Shields look. So I would say that I was a little bit more on the androgynous side. But I have 100% accepted my job here as a indigo and look forward to fulfilling my light worker duties. So indigo adults and children usually have an innate sense of spirituality throughout their life. I have been connected and talking to angels, spirit, and saints since I was about 4 or 5 years old. Anyway, that was the first course that I wanted to talk to you. It's not really a course. It's kind of just like a little education piece so that you might learn about who you are. And as we go down the road, learn how to work with your metaphysical energies. The next video that I'm going to make is going to talk a little bit more about energy and what it means in the magical realm as well as the physical realm. Listen, I really look forward to doing these with you guys, and I hope to get some feedback. If you like what you have seen here today, go ahead and like my video. Also, if you want to get more of my content, then go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button so that you'll be notified when I do go ahead and upload these videos. I'm going to try to be more consistent with it, and I look forward to getting to know my audience. Have a great day. Now remember, you don't have a whole lot of time here on earth. We are energy beings here having a human experience. We are spiritual people. Let's help to raise the vibration. Give people light and love. Tell them that they have a beautiful smile, even though you can't see it behind the masks these days. Tell them they have great shoes. And light and love, guys. Talk to you soon.